Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our RimWorld Warhammer 40k Let's Play. So, we got a lot happening in today's episode. For starters, everybody's meeting in the cafeteria because Remy and Zarena are finally getting married. They've been together for a while, and I guess they're finally deciding to go through with it. So, that's why I decided to go ahead and pick back up here. We're also doing some major base expansions, and today is probably going to be the day where we connect the annex to the main base. I have all the mining and deconstruction queued up. So just to quickly summarize, we need to dig through there, we need to dig through here, and we need to tear down all these walls. Besides that, I'm also going to break through in here so that these rooms have a little three-way walkway for easier access, just like they do, over here. So they'll be symmetrical. I know that does limit wall space for building things, but we already have more of these production rooms than we know what to do with, so I'm really not that concerned about it. These have been running for a while. Unfortunately, I think they mined something out and didn't fill in, like there wasn't an overhead mountain or something. I've gone ahead and I've set up building roofs over everything. I made sure there wasn't any spots missing, so it's just a matter of them doing it. But we are venting a little bit of air to the or cold air to the environment. I've also set up more coolers over here. These are venting through embrasures rather than through just up outside, and because they are kind of structural weak points, it's only one wall thick and then a vent or a cooler versus two walls. I put some pitfall traps in the open spaces. So if they do decide to try to break through there, at least somebody's going to lose a limb trying to get through the vent or the cooler. So I think that'll help. And then these are, of course, vented to the bedrooms. I was debating whether to make this a vent or a door, but I decided to go with a door because these will need to be repaired every once in a while. And so I figured at least this way somebody can get in here, go through the little access hall, and slap some components on those when they break. This will be easier because this is going to be in a major hallway, so I don't need to do anything special there. But otherwise, these are going to, again, be vents, and they'll look like this. I'll do like the what's it called? What's that floor? The steel grating, yeah. They'll be steel grating all the way through. I think that's it, but we do have all the doors built now. Adding more steel grating floor to the edges of these as well, just to bring it out a little bit further. And then once they're connected, I need to floor everything. So that'll be a really fun project and a really time-consuming one. And then down here, we're kind of getting this ready to be connected as well, making the walls double thick. I'm going to tear out the old walls and replace them with limestone so that everything's consistent. I'm probably going to tear up the floors too, just because they're also inconsistent. There's all sorts of different floor types in here. They're all marble, but they're all, different patterns and stuff. So I'm going to rip all the floors out and then replace them with the same sort of mosaic pattern here. Excuse me. Same sort of mosaic pattern here, but I'm probably going to do it in granite just so all of our floors are one kind of consistent color. But this will have its own distinct pattern, and the mosaic floors are the most beautiful, according to the game. So our little shrine to the Emperor here will be one of the nicest rooms, and I am going to make it its own room. We're going to use the, we're going to use the 1x3 doors. I'll probably just make them out of steel or something, and we'll set them to hold open so that they don't need to constantly open and close, but it will still register the room as its own thing. And that way the beauty rating will be higher than if it got averaged out by the rest of this. Obviously this will need to get connected, but since it's inaccessible from the base, we need some way for them to get in. And I think that's about it. I still need to decide what I'm going to do with this down here. But this is going to be a hallway that, of course, connects to this. And this is kind of the vague idea of what I'm going to do with this. Again, we're going to have mortars in here with lots of shelves and things for storing the ammunition. If they're on shelves, they won't deteriorate even to open air, so we're fine there. These will be little rooms that will be roofed off, but I don't know what I'm going to put in them. It could just be more shell storage. It could be like shell production. I don't know yet, but we'll figure something out. And I think that's it. And then, the usual stuff up here. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get things started. Oh, and we have, I almost forgot. We have this. Yeah, the infinite chem reactor we need to go after. We still have over a week, and I believe it was only about a day's worth of travel. 1.2, yeah. So not too bad. That is something we need to keep in mind. We may send them out tomorrow, just to get it out of the way. We don't really have much going on. And then one final thing before we start. Lax is currently modeling the Scutari armor for us. I basically just deleted the Tech Priest armor he had and replaced it with Scutari armor. Now, I messed up exporting the textures, and so that's why there's this white box. I forgot to remove the background before I exported it, because the way I make sure the transparencies are clean is I put them on a white background so I can see if there's like little pixels here and there that need to be erased. And I forgot to hide that when I exported it. So it's only on the side. So let's draft him and we'll get a quick peek. There he is. That's what he looks like. And again, I just basically took the Scutari from the 40k faction mod, these guys. And they don't have armor or anything. This is actually their body, so it's one piece. I'm photoshopping the head off of the body and making them their own separate things, and then writing the XML to make them actual items in the game. And I've added them to our tech tree here. Again, I replaced the flak armor thing that we weren't using because they were like flak plates that go over the top of flak armor. I don't know, it didn't make sense. But we have standard Imperial armor here. This is our flak armor, and then of course we go to Carapace, which we have there. So this wasn't really being used, and what I did is I changed it into a Mechanicus sort of thing, and that's where the Tech Priest armor and the Scutari armor goes. I apparently messed up exporting the UI images for these two, but I can fix that pretty easily. I probably just entered the file path wrong. Anyway, so we're working on the research to actually start producing those ourselves. And the way I've set it up is that the Scutari armor is a little bit better. It's more equivalent to Carapace, whereas the Tech Priest armor was more equivalent to the flak armor. The way, from a lore perspective, that's probably not accurate, because generally Scutari are kind of expendable. But Scutari are, made for combat, whereas Tech Priests generally aren't. So I figured the Scutari should be a little bit more resilient, because from a gameplay perspective, you'd be giving that armor to people actually fighting, and the Tech Priest stuff would be for people that are kind of running your facility. So it's more of a gameplay balance type thing, but I think it'll work fine. Anyways, let's get things moving. Everybody's having a beer while they wait for the wedding to start. And I wish they would start making some kibble. I have the bill open, and we have plenty of resources. There's a bunch of hay grass. There is a bunch of various types of meat, although they do need to start butchering these Tyranids a bit more. We're also making Tyranid stew. I saw a couple, but I think they got eaten already. But yeah, they just don't seem too keen on doing this. I wish I could tell them to use hops too, but unfortunately they won't. It's just meat and hay grass. Oh no, never mind. Shoot, no, I don't want them to waste corn on that. Yeah. There's plenty of hay grass, so it shouldn't be a problem. It is a bit inconvenient to get to, but it's there. It's just right out the door. And we really need a better wedding spot. The cafeteria is not really designed for this. That's something I'll think about. This is supposed to be a military facility after all, so I wasn't really super concerned with, very civilian things like that, but it is something worth looking at. Oh, also, I'm going to put the fire foam popper in here. I figured this was the best place for it, because if anybody's bedridden and can't get out of bed when there's a fire, they would probably burn to death. So this would, help prevent that. It's a one-time use thing, though, so we'd have to make new ones. Apparently Lazarus doesn't care that there's a wedding going on. And I keep getting asked about this area. It is going to get sort of made into part of the base. So these walls are completely temporary. They're going to get removed eventually. And most of this room might get cut away. Oh, we got hops going bad. I might make it flush with like this wall here. And like this can be deconstructed. This can probably get deconstructed. We need to make a new one of these somewhere. I'd prefer to make it out of steel, but we definitely need one. We could build it here. This is more like medical stuff though. But we do need various types of cloth for some of those things, so it could fit in there. The alternative would also be putting it in here, because I do still need a mending bench, and that's something that we're also going to research. I think it's queued up next after this project. But the mending bench is going to let us repair clothing and whatnot. Okay, wedding is starting. Oh, it's going to happen right here. Hey, Clinton, real quick, why don't you clean up the dirt on the floor for their wedding? Wow, they all packed in there. That's kind of impressive. Lazarus is still sleeping, though. And then Lax's textures are still bugging out. Pirate merchants have left comms range. That's fine. They didn't have anything we wanted. Or if they did, we've already got it. Yeah, we need a way bigger area. I'm impressed that all but one person showed up, though. And they managed to all pack in there. We have another bulk goods trader. That seems to be all we get these days. We've actually had 2 of them available prior to this, and this is now the 3rd. I think one of them left, though. Okay, they're married. Yay. Murgo, could you maybe just check in on these guys and see what they've got? Okay. They have chickens. That's actually tempting, and they're fairly inexpensive. So I might buy some chickens. Ooh, I don't have a lot of silver to work with, though. Shoot. All of it got moved out of our orbital trade beacons. That's annoying. They have neutromine. They have components. They have synthread? No. They have hyperweave? No. That's really all I care about. They have medicine, but it's overpriced. I don't need any of that stuff. Beer, wood. Monkey hide Jedi garb. I don't want to use any of the Star Wars clothes. Again, the only reason that's there, and I don't think I've even talked about this, or it's even really been an issue in this playthrough, is I wanted to have Force Sensitives as sort of like Psychers, because that was the closest we could get. Although I think there is like an obscure mod that adds Psyker powers, but I've never been able to find it. But the Star Wars Force mod is really, really well made, so it was a perfectly good alternative. But, you know, I don't think we've ever come across somebody, or if we did, I didn't notice and just killed them. Alright. Yeah, I think I just want chickens. So give me a rooster and 2 hens. I'll take... You know what? I can't get all of them. I'm gonna hold off, actually, because they have some stuff I want, but I need more silver. Like, why did all the silver get moved out of there? Where is it? Oh, it's all up here. Why is it up here? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Give me one of these. Build it right there. Sure. And nope, not what I wanted to click on. Let's have somebody do that immediately. Are you good at construction? No. Clinton, probably not. I know Mirage is. Mirage, since you were late, could you maybe do this? No. Oh, crap. It's not going to let me do it. Damn it. Okay. Cancel that then. Here's what I need. Can you haul some of this? No. Not what I meant to do. Prioritize hauling. If you can haul 1,000 silver over to this stockpile, we'll be fine. We'll be more than fine. I just need some silver over there. So, I get asked this all the time, but I will release this texture pack or whatever. Well, it's going to have to be more than a texture pack because obviously I have new items that weren't in the original mod. So I will release them when they're done. I still need to do, well, I obviously still need to fix this, and I still need to finish the Commissar stuff. And the Space Marine stuff that you guys haven't seen yet needs a bit more work too. But once that's all done, I will release it. I'm not going to put it on the workshop because this is somebody else's mod that I'm just tweaking. So what I'll do is I'll probably put it in like a Dropbox folder or something. I'll just like, you know, compress it in WinRAR and then upload it to Dropbox. And I'll have a link in the description or something that people can use. And I'll have instructions on how to do it. But basically, you just need to dump it into your Steam Workshop directory for RimWorld, and it should overwrite everything it needs to. But there is obviously still some work that needs to get done, and I want to have it finished before I put it out because it's not going to be through Steam Workshop. So if I have to update it, then you're going to have to start the whole process all over again. So I figure it's easier if it's just done and then it goes out. Now, I've been thinking of doing a standalone mod because I would really like to, in the future, do an Adeptus Mechanicus playthrough, maybe after this one, because I think 2 40k playthroughs at the same time might be a bit much. I mean, we're already doing 3 RimWorld Let's Plays, and various other Warhammer 40k games, but I would like to do an Adeptus Mechanicus playthrough, and so I was thinking of making a completely standalone Mechanicus mod, and reworking the textures and stuff to be more in line with the tabletop stuff, which these sort of are. But I feel like I could do a little bit better with original stuff because just to speed things up, I've been like literally just hacking apart the existing stuff because it takes me, you know, an hour to do rather than days. Where did Murgo go? I need her to call these guys back. But obviously it's kind of limited. We only have Tech Priests and Scutari, and there's a lot of really cool Mechanicus stuff that we could use in a playthrough. And they actually fit better than Imperial Guard because obviously they are very construction and crafting and research oriented. Whereas the Imperial Guard are really just a fighting force, and we've had to kind of skirt the rules a little bit to make this work. So let's get our rooster and 2 hens. Do I want 3 hens? I'm gonna do 2. And the reason for that is because I remember having chickens in our Skyrim playthrough and it being an absolute headache. So I just want enough to have a consistent supply of eggs. I don't want to have too many and have it start lagging my game. And how much for all your components? It costs me about 1,000. But I have about 3,000. I don't need components, clearly. You know what? I'm not going to buy them. We have people crafting them constantly, so I don't think that's really necessary. I don't need more medicine. I have 125, with more coming every day. Don't really need anything else. And I mean, honestly, these chickens are probably unnecessary, but it's just a more reliable source of animal products / meat, so I figure that's probably a good idea. Okay, there we go. I don't know where they're going to show up. Chickens, where are you? Are they just going to get, like, drop-potted down in front of my... Yeah, that's exactly what happened. There's the 2 hens. Where's the rooster at? Let's make sure we got it. Rooster 1, yeah. We'll set them to animal area 1, just like all the other livestock, because they're not hauling. And there should be plenty of kibble out there for them, or I don't know if they'll eat hay grass, but it's there. They can also kind of peck away at the crops if they like. And there was, I mean, we've probably grazed it dry with all the other animals, but there is some grass here and there that they can eat. Okay, so there's that. Alright, our Mechanicus pattern armor is done. Okay, and there is probably like 8 other things queued up, so I don't need to worry about that. We are currently working on some carapace armor, so we'll have to do this afterward. But what I'd like to do is make more of this stuff for a few people. Yaris was going to be one. Probably a tech priest, because he's not capable of combat. He's sort of like a... I guess he's like a Mechanicus chef. I don't know what that would even... Like, I was trying to think of, like... Because you have, like, the... Magos... I always want to say that with, like, a soft G, but I don't know. Anyway. You have, like, the Magos biologists, or whatever, who are, like, the biology tech priests, right? And so... Like, what would be the like, high gothic for, like, culinary arts? I don't know. But anyways, he can craft and do intellectual stuff, too, so I figure he kind of fits. And he's obviously not a guardsman, so I think that sort of works, even if he's not really too in line with the Mechanicus either. Obviously, Lax is Mechanicus. He even has the trait. He is a decent fighter, so I think I'll keep him in the Scutari armor. And we'll get him like a servo skull and some other stuff too. Lazarus is going to be one. I might make him into a tech priest. Yeah, I think he'll be a tech priest. I don't know that Scutari would fit. You're basically just a doctor. I guess you technically could be one. I'll consider it. Daniel is a Space Marine candidate, and Ren is like a sniper. So I need, what, 3 tech priests? Yeah, I think that's about right. So what is that going to cost us? Tech priest robes. I didn't bother to change these, I don't think. So that should be exactly the same as the flak armor. I would like somebody with a crafting skill of 8 or better to do this, and I want it done 3 times. Then I want a couple of hoods. You know what, let's start with 2, because I'm not sure if I want to make Sylvia one yet. But definitely Lazarus and Yaris. So we'll do 2. And then I want a couple of hoods. I'll do 1 regular hood and 1 with the augmetics. The difference, I think you guys have only seen the one with the augmetics, but it has like an augmetic eye that goes over the face. The other one is just the hood without it. So there's that. And those will get done after that carapace armor is finished. The carapace armor is probably going to Ren. And yeah, so anyways, I want to make like a standalone, and potentially I'd like to do it for every faction in 40k, but I probably won't even get around to doing one of them, let alone all of them. I just don't have the time or the motivation really, but I think it would be really cool to have a standalone Mechanicus mod with different armor and stuff for like tech priests and archmagos and the data smith guys, the ones that control the Castellan robots. Who else? There's a bunch, and I can never remember them all because I played Space Marines on the tabletop, so I've always wanted to make a Mechanicus army, especially when the Scutari miniatures came out, because they look really good, but I don't have the time or the money for that either. So there's a lot of cool ones though, and I think having an entire playthrough just dedicated to that would be really awesome. And then of course we could do it with other factions as well, like the Eldar, and make them playable. But I think I would do it differently than this mod author has done. I don't really like having all these dependencies. Oh crap, did somebody start this? Oh, somebody started the helmet. Okay, that's fine. Anyways, I don't like how they've basically built their own like workbench. I mean, I don't mind the workbenches so much, but the fact that we have to turn components into Imperial components. So I would probably remove all that to streamline it. Obviously, you need like ceramite and adamantium, but then the fact that you have to refine it, I would probably streamline that too, and just have them made from like a machining table or something. I don't know, but I think it'd be cool. And obviously they have a lot of, the Mechanicus has a lot of weapons that we don't see in the mods. Even the Mechanicus Armory mod is a bit limited. It has a couple of their guns, but it doesn't have any of their melee weapons. It doesn't have a lot of their advanced weapons, and so on. Alright, so as people are waking up, I want to get a couple of things done today. The first is I want to get Daniel's Bionic Spine installed. He is kind of suffering from this bad back, and the Bionic Spine I think was finished a day or so ago. Let's check in on that. Yeah, it's been done, so let's turn this off. We don't need it right now. You go ahead and eat, and once you're done with that, let's queue up your operation. So, yeah, rather than just repairing his spine, which is totally an option, I am going to give him this Bionic Spine because, again, he is supposed to be a Space Marine at some point. And so this is going to greatly improve his capabilities on top of whatever other augments he gets. So we'll start with that. And we'll also want to... I feel like we had something else to install. Oh, right. We wanted to give Lax the auxiliary AI. So that's something we'll need to add too. That one's a bit risky, but I think we'll be okay. We need to make sure this room is really clean though. I'll just make sure it gets done before the surgery starts. And then when the rest of our group starts waking up, I'm going to start getting them ready to head out on that mission. Because we should have... I kind of lost track. Either 6 or 7 days. Either way, it's plenty of time. Okay, so Lax is in bed. Daniel's about to get in there as well. Halleck, I'd love it if you would go ahead and start on these. You don't really need to feed him. I just need you to do the damn operation. Need material. Oh, yeah, he took... Where did you put it? I need you to haul that back to the stockpile so you recognize that it's there. And... perfect. Go ahead and start doing that. I don't really care who does Daniel's, but that's a pretty delicate procedure as well. And any blood that ends up on the floor, we'll need to clean that before anything else happens. So it looks like everybody except for Zima and Bragg are awake, but it's 8 o'clock. They should be ready to go. Yeah, they are. Okay. Rise and shine. Go eat your breakfast. And then we'll put you to work getting ready. I don't know if I'm going to send them both, because it's kind of a hassle to keep an eye on their beds. But we'll see. Okay, so Murgo's going to do Daniel's surgery. That went pretty well. That probably would have been a decent time to use Glitter World Medicine doing brain surgery like that, but it worked out fine. So let's turn that back down. Brain, 10 out of 10. So all this is going to do is affect his mining and smoothing speed. And for this playthrough, mining is really the only one that matters. Alright, let me know when you guys are done eating. Okay, Zima and Bragg are done. I need both of... Nope, just you two. I need you hustling on over to here. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this before, but Liara used one of the neurotrainers. She used the shooting. I mean, I told her to do it. She didn't just do it on her own volition, but I told her to use the shooting neurotrainer, and she went from 3 to 10. So I've gone ahead and I've given her the extra las gun we had because she's actually a pretty proficient shot now. And Cashin is using the auto gun that was kicking around in here because she didn't have a gun for a while. So who else do I want to send? Remy is usually a good one. He's making Tech Priest robes right now, but I kind of didn't need a new project started. So let's send you over here. Zarena, you're cleaning. I don't need that done right away. And then I think we're going to send Reyna, who's a pretty good fighter. She needs a melee weapon, though. Yeah, you really need a melee weapon. I guess for now it's fine, but I really should be sending her with one. Do you need to eat first? Yeah, you probably should. Go eat, or you've already got one. Perfect. But when she's done eating, we'll get her going. Oh, Bragg has been inspired. Hold on a second. We need to take advantage of that. So prisoners. We got Tigress, who is our future, what do you call it? Sister of Battle. Probably the Canonist, because really all she can do is fight. And she's an iron-willed psychopath, so that's pretty fitting. But do we need that right now? Sira, I don't even know if we were trying to recruit you. No, we weren't. Okay. Johnny, weren't trying to recruit you either. You're not the worst. There's just really no point in... Yeah, there's just no point in bringing you on because you can't fight. So keeping him as a prisoner is kind of nice because he can't really rise up against us. She's a pyromaniac, so we didn't want her. Inga, were we trying to recruit you? No. Yeah, a lot of these guys were permanent prisoners. Pruitt, we were trying to recruit you, but you have a really low difficulty. Trigger Happy Night Owl, but you can't shoot. Although with a shooting neurotrainer, we could get this up. It's not going to be anywhere near as significant as we've seen with other characters, because he's going to only get 35% of whatever XP it adds, but it's still going to be significant enough. It might get him from like 1 to 4, 1 to 5, so he could actually at least hold a gun and do something. But he's not terrible as just a permanent prisoner either, because he is quite good at mining. So that's something to think about. I'm actually going to set him to just forced to work for now, because I haven't decided if I wanted to bring him on or not. Gorilla was going to be a Space Marine. He is very good at melee combat. The problem is he might cause some problems in the base. And since all he's really good at is fighting, do I need to bring him on? He's also probably the easiest one to recruit of the people that we actually want. And we were trying to bring you on 96 with 15 mining. And you're an okay fighter as well. And a decent builder. I think Black Toad might be the one we go after here. Black Toad or Tigress. Did we look at Sira? I think we did. We didn't want to bring you on, right? Yeah, we're just having you building components forever. Okay, so I think it's going to be Black. Brag, undraft real quick, and go... Oh, right, I can't prioritize it. I hate that. I hate that so much. Just come stand by over here for now. I hate to lose it, but if we send him on the mission, it'll probably be gone before he comes back. Reyna, you're done eating. I needed you to get over here. So they're ready to go. I might have to just skip it. It's not like I need any of these people really badly. You didn't die, right? Okay, good. Bionic Spine. Perfect. So he's all patched up. And I might just say screw it and send him. Because the cooldown may not be ready in time. Yeah, I'm just going to say no. We can always get them later, and I don't really need any of them right now. So it's not like it would make a huge difference if we got the recruitment versus not getting it. And Reyna. Okay. So let's jump out to the world map here. Our destination is here. We have 7 days to get there. We are going to be heading from here to there. So it looks like we want to be leaving pretty much due east. Looks like northeast if available, but southeast will put us on the road as well. So either of those should be fine. As long as it's not north. We just don't want to end up in those mountains. Okay, so let's form a caravan. Going to bring the APC. We're going to bring... Should take us less than a day to get there because that 1.2 days is based on walking speed. We're obviously moving around in a tank. So I think, what, 500? Oh, that's way too much. 250, maybe? 1.6. I might roll the dice on that. 1.6. Will that be enough? How about 300? Does that get us to 2 days? 1.9. I'll say, you know what? Take 300 from that pile and take 100, or take as much as you can from this one. Because I think these are deteriorated slightly. Actually, they're more valuable. No, same price. Usually if they're separate, it means that one of them deteriorated slightly or something. But 2.5 days, I think, is more than enough. So even if that estimate ends up being accurate, we should have just enough food. Now we need some medicine as well. We'll bring... there's no humans there. We're dealing with mechanoids. So I think 10 should be the absolute most we need. That's basically 2 for everybody if they get hit. And did we need anything else? Probably some fuel just to be safe. Okay, so we'll do 200 chem fuel, which is, again, another full tank on top of, I think, the mostly full tank that we already have. So there's all that. Let's look at our thing here. We want to go northeast, and that is everything. Okay, let's lock it in, get back to the world map, and let them get set up. I don't know why it keeps doing this, but I have to keep toggling draft undraft to make them actually do stuff. But as long as I do that, it works fine. Oh, somebody's eating some Tyranid stew there. Looks pretty chunky. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing how much faster you can mine stuff out. And Daniel, I'm looking forward to seeing how much that spine improves your just overall capabilities. I almost kind of wish I had used the AI thing on... Because eventually, and a lot of people wanted me to do this initially, it just wasn't really viable. But a lot of people wanted me to turn the permanent prisoners into... Oh god, I forgot their name. I don't know why I always blank on this stuff. I basically live 40k, because I'm essentially recording 40k games every day. But the lobotomized guys, why can't I think of their name right now? I know you guys know what I'm talking about. So, a lot of people wanted me... Oh, servitors, there we go. I don't know why that was so hard to remember. A lot of people wanted me to turn the prisoners into servitors, but it just wasn't viable early on because we could barely afford to invest that in our actual colonists, let alone going through all of that for a prisoner that we're not even going to really care about. So I was reluctant to do it for that reason. But now that we're a little bit more stable, most of our people are in like full armor with proper weaponry. So it's something I might look at. I also found a lobotomy mod, which I know sounds horrible, but it's something I might consider. The only problem with that, though, is it really, really hurts their manipulation. It drops it to like 40%. So I would have to basically make them like fully bionic to compensate. I'd have to give them like 2 bionic arms and I don't know what else, but even then I don't think they'd be back at 100%. So yeah, I don't know if that would be a good idea or not. I guess I could modify it. I could go into the mod files and modify the effect. That's kind of cheating, but I don't think a lobotomy would completely prevent your ability to do basic tasks. It would obviously affect your like interpersonal abilities, but that's a whole other story. And the mod does reflect that. I think it basically removes their ability to communicate, among other things, which for prisoners would be great because then they can't set up prison breaks. But it's just something I'm thinking about. It may never materialize in this playthrough, but if we end up ever doing the Mechanicus one, I think it would be a must, because obviously the Mechanicus really, really relies on servitors. But since we're an Imperial Guard force, we can kind of work like the just like regular modern militaries work, where they basically just make the soldiers do all the heavy lifting and stuff. Alright, so with that, I think we're going to go ahead and end the episode. I'm going to play a little bit off camera and then come back when our group has arrived at their destination, unless of course something interesting happens in the meantime. But I don't think it will unless we get raided, so I'll see you guys back here when that happens. I apologize if the episode today was just a little bit too... I don't even know what the word would be. Rambly, I guess. Did a lot of talking about plans and mods and stuff. Not a whole lot happened other than, you know, the wedding and us sending people out. But that is RimWorld sometimes. And so hopefully you guys still find this type of episode entertaining. The next one will have fights in it, obviously, because we're going to be up against some Mechanicus, or some Mechanoids. So there is that to look forward to, at least. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you. And I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.